Having a home that's energy efficient can be a top priority for some homeowners. Today, we're going to talk specifically about adding solar panels to your property. Joining me now is mortgage expert Tyler Osby. Tyler, this isn't maybe directly related to mortgage lending, but this is something that in the mortgage industry, as a lender, you have seen a lot of over the years. So let's just start with solar. For those of you who don't know, what is it? What are we talking about here?
It's an alternative source of energy.
Yep.
So, we all have to pay to keep the lights on, and most of us pay a utility company directly, and solar gives you an alternative. That's really what it is it's an alternative to paying a popular utility company you might already be paying.
And these are some of the things we're going to look at today. The benefit of solar, the cost, why people do it, or maybe why people don't do it. Behind garage door number 2, let's look at this one. Let's first talk about some of the pros of solar energy, and mainly we're talking about like the panels, right? The panels that you would put on your roof or have some sort of solar structure out in your yard.
Yep, so the big thing in the way it's positioned is, hey, pay for the solar and let the solar be your source for all of your utilities. So instead of paying the utility company, pay to put the solar panels on the top of your house, and that'll take care of everything in terms of the utility goes.
Okay.
I think a lot of people feel that they're supporting a cause that they believe in when they make the investment in solar, and that's a big piece of it. And I think a lot of people have the perception that having solar on a home will increase the value of their home, which I think can be very arguable if you engage with a professional appraiser who gives you an identity or identification of what that value is. Because appraisals, which we've talked about in previous segments, is all about comparables. And reality is in Iowa, we don't see as much solar here as you do in other parts of the country where maybe it's more, frequently used.
I feel like it would be a case-by-case basis too. Having solar panels on a home might be more valuable to one buyer compared to another buyer where they're not seen as any sort of
almost
important.
like a pool. Like,
exactly.
To the right person, it's great. To the wrong person, they just wish it was filled in with concrete.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. All right, let's talk about, so we've talked about the pros of solar. Behind garage door number 3, we're going to talk about some of the cons of solar. And again, this is based off of your mortgage lending experience and what you've seen over the years. So what have you seen of maybe some of the not great things about solar panels?
Well, it's expensive. And when you buy it, a lot of times people aren't paying cash for it. They're usually getting a loan because they don't have cash. They're instead of paying their utility company, they're now paying for the loan to pay for the solar panels they put on top of their house. And it's a depreciating asset. It's not going to increase in value. So sometimes people can get upside down, a lot like you would on a car, where you owe more on the panels than what they're actually adding to the value of your home. It can create issues in selling the home because if you do have a loan or a lease, it can become a lien on your property. And when you go to sell a house, we know you got to pay off everything that's attached to the house, which would include, in that case, solar. And ultimately there's a break-even point where you think of what you pay monthly to a utility company and how many months it would take to pay off the solar. And if you're paying cash, that's a really simple equation because you just pay it off, right? But if you get a loan, it's not that simple because it's amortized over years of paying it off and you have interest and stuff. So the key is talk with somebody who can really look at the math and help you identify, is this something that'll help? And also engage with your, realtor, if you have somebody that you trust, to determine like, hey, is this really going to help me increase my property value, or am I just really supporting a cause that I believe in? And either is fine. I just think it's important that people understand why they're doing it and just be honest with themselves about the pros and cons of it.
There's nothing wrong with being educated.
Not at all.
All right, Tyler, thank you so much. If you would like to share what you have learned today or maybe check out some of our other HomeWise topics, be sure to visit who13.com.